Good morning. Today is auction day, so we are getting started on cleaning out our barn. This is basically our general storage barn where anything and everything can get put, most of which we didn't need when we put it in here and we'll never need ever again. So that's why we are cleaning out anything we can. It's going on the gooseneck, going to the auction. You can see we got plenty of stuff to sort through and figure out what we're keeping, what we're scrapping, and what we're taking to the sale. So when I get a trailer load, I guess I'll show you guys what I got and anything interesting that we're not taking to the sale or scrapping, I'll show you guys. Got really nice, what looks to be, I don't know, 15 or 18 feet. One of them awnings will go on your house. I don't know why this even got put back here. It should have just went right to the auction when somebody dropped it off. But the frame looks good. I don't know what this is. Yeah, that's all the way it's supposed to be, I think. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know what I'm looking at. I feel like these things kind of went out of style about 10, 15 years ago. I remember seeing those home awning commercials all the time as a kid on the cartoon channel. I don't see them anymore, but also I don't watch cartoons anymore, so that's probably the biggest part of that. To take stuff to our auction now, they're trying to dwindle down on the amount of actual junk that comes to the auction because our local consignment place is absolutely jam-packed with stuff all the time. And if you don't get it in day one, today, within the first half of the week, your stuff gets buried in the catalog. So the way they tried dwindling that down is it costs $20 to bring a lot up there. So something like this, I'm pretty sure will bring more than 20 bucks. So that's your way of determining if you wouldn't pay $20 for the item, then I don't even bother bringing it up. I should say if I wouldn't pay $20 for the item, then I don't even bother bringing it up there. It just ends up in the scrap truck, which I think was their goal, and it seems to be working here. I don't know about other places. This is turning less into a mainly auction stuff and turning more into just a deep clean. While I'm out here, I might as well just go through every single thing. So you can see behind me, what's in the freestalls is what we're keeping up to there, that freestall there. I'm going up to this mule and then going down the other side because I think it'll take everything I got today. I went through that already, so we're to that point. And then we'll start over here where this green door is at and work our way back down that way. All that galvanized stuff we need to take to the scrapyard. Is it galvanized? No, it's not galvanized. It's stainless, I think. Yeah, stainless. So gonna work our way back this way. Keep a few things like this tank. You never know when you'll need that. I hate holding on to stuff like that, but tanks like that are a pricey thing to not hold on to. I do think we will take the bandsaw to the auction. Bunch of scrap laying around in there and there. These acetylene tanks, I'll keep the little one. We don't use acetylene anymore. We switched to propane, but in case we ever do switch back, I'll keep the little tank. We'll take that big one to the auction, and if I can find a cap to this one in the shop, we'll take that one to the auction as well. We may just take it either way. And then this stuff, I think those are Chevy taillights. I'm not sure, but they're not metal, so you can't scrap them. And I'm not going to take them to the auction because I don't know if they'll bring 20 bucks. So they're sitting in my burn pile currently through this stuff. Fans going to the auction, generators going to the auction. That's a box of hardware for the awning. And I think this is like a piece of flashing for the awning. I'm not sure. I've never seen it before. It was sitting in the same general area, and it's about the same length. So I got to get that up there. I got a brand new garage door opener in the box. I don't think it's compatible with our shop door. I think our shop door is going to need a 3/4 or 1 horse. So I don't think it's compatible with that. So once we get this side done, then we'll pull this mule out and pull that generator out, and then we'll work our way down farther. Probably work our way down to that Craftsman lawnmower and just keep doing that, biting off little bits. I probably shouldn't have started from this end though, because this end is the end where all the stuff comes in at. I should have started down on that end. That way, if I don't get very far down, there's not all of a sudden all this room and it all just piles back up again. But I'm going to try and keep it from doing that. And I'm taking the shade cloth to the auction. I don't know. That one's kind of a gamble. I don't think it's worth $20. There's a couple sheets there. And there's another sheet down there I am going to pull out now. That way it's all together. I'm just driving by the 3 silos here on our way back from our burn pile. And these propane, I think there's 3 propanes and 2 CO2 tanks. We're going to load these up. I'm trying to clean up along this back of the silos too. We got that camper we got to do something with, tear it all down, and we may use the frame and build a trailer of some sort, or we've talked about building a tiny house on there. I don't know. But and then we got this elevator which needs to go to scrap, and just some rotten hay bales, cow mattresses, and there's a chunk of guardrail right there. What I would probably end up doing back here, I gotta get some Brushmaster and spray all these stumps while they're still alive. Keep those pesky trees from coming back. These things gotta be invasive because they come up anywhere that you don't manage. And that's like a couple of years of growth. It's ridiculous. But we'll take all them 3-point attachments once we get this area cleaned up and just line them up along here, because there's not a whole lot else you can park back here. But those 3-point implements, anywhere else, they end up getting stacked and you can't get to the back ones. But this would be a good spot to line them all up at. We're changing gears a little bit here. I got the mule out already and I grabbed the generator. I'm trying to get to that workbench because I want to sell those 2 as a pair. And so I've only got about 30 minutes left before I got somewhere I gotta be. So we'll get that out. And then if we still have room on the trailer, I'll throw my mower on, or that mower. And then that'll be it. When I get back, it'll be like 2 o'clock, I'm guessing. We'll get that trailer load of stuff taken up there to the sale. And then we'll get back and I can continue working the rest of the evening on cleaning and sorting in here. And then I don't know, next, they take stuff Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, so next Tuesday we could possibly have another load to take up. And what do you know, another tank. That one might be an oxygen tank. Yeah, we'll keep that one because we can swap that out at our local parts store for a fresh tank. It's a nice, beautiful Saturday morning. And just out here walking the weed again, checking it out. I think we're gonna get this done this afternoon. I don't think it'll be too much of an issue, at least on these fields. But we might leave some tracks in that other field that we would do as well. But I don't know what else I'm gonna do really. There's quite a bit of precip in the forecast. I can keep watching it, I guess, but I think we're gonna end up putting nitrogen out on this today. It's starting to turn a little yellow, so it is starting to need some, and I'd rather put it on sooner rather than later. Right, we've got water running into our freshwater tank. I managed to walk away from it for a while and realized I did not close the valve on the bottom when I got back, so that's what the deal is with the water all over the ground. We're filling that, and then we have our draw hose hooked up to the pump and our push hose hooked up to the end of the inductor. So we are ready to pull the sprayer around here when we have enough water. Next, we've got to take our shuttle pump, that one laying on the ground there. We're going to bring it around inside. That was my Roundup pump last year. So we're going to flush it really good and then put it on this sugar tote. I have the fittings and everything coming for my second pump. That one, I've got a pump in the milking parlor over here, but it's set up to suck out of a barrel. So I have the fittings and everything coming for that to switch that over to this style. And so then we can have another shuttle pump sitting around. Since I bought 2 totes, I got a shuttle pump from my retailer for the Roundup this year. And this one's even got a flow meter on it, which is cool. So just getting everything in order. once we are done test firing with water, we'll move that hose over to over here and hook up to that one. And then, or no, we're gonna hook here. We're gonna empty this tank first, and then we will draw out of this hose, which comes around the corner here, and we have two 2500s and a 2200 gallon tank here. Not all full, but we have 25, almost 30 ton sitting here. So we'll be good through planting, and then we'll have to fill up again for side dress. I also gotta bring the skid loader over here and snag that gate. It was up against the tank here. I pulled it out, but that sucker's heavy, so we're gonna grab the skid steer and we'll take that somewhere where it's out of the way.
Put you up right here.
Got the shuttle pump all flushed, and it's on our sugar tote. I got the cord running around into there. This is a 110. That one is a 12 volt, so I got to get a battery and a battery maintainer over here to run on that. While I was over in the shop, I went ahead and threw together this hose because I had the stuff sitting there. This is just 2-inch. This is going to go on our 318/18 totes, and that's how we're going to gravity feed them into the truck tender. There's about 400 gallons of water in this tank. I shut the hose off, and we're just going to let everything set. Well, actually, I still gotta get the skid loader, and I gotta grab that gate. I was about to do that, and then one of the lime floaters got a little stuck, and we had to go help get them out. But now I can get back to that and run power to that shuttle pump, and then we'll pull the sprayer around. It's supposed to be 35 tonight, so it's kind of iffy on whether I should have water sitting in the sprayer or not. I may run water through the spray system and then go ahead and put some 28 in it for overnight, because 28 has a lot lower freezing temp, but we'll see. Plan is now to do the 28 right away tomorrow after noon, about noon, 1-ish. There's about a 5-hour window from noon to 5:36 where there's a slight chance of rain. It's like a 40% chance, and it's about 1/10 of an inch, so we're gonna get it in that window, give optimum drying. We got all day today with the sun like this, and yeah, hopefully it'll make a difference. I'm just kind of spooked after seeing that floater sink like a rock. Yeah, it wasn't fun, and I don't want to do that with the sprayer with skinny tires. So all right, pump worked. That's good. Harbor Freight pump might make it another year. That's okay. We got another one in case it putes out. We just need 2 for planting. Holy smokes, that sucker's on there. Everything's a little tight first go around of the season. Woo, that's not good for it. Don't be broken. All right, slap that down over here. That's its resting place for the season. Not really, we gotta tear all that down in a little bit, or Monday, and get all this stuff moved around. All right, cap this. I splurged because I got sick of having to change that from a 3-inch cam lock to a 2-inch back and forth all season. And I made an order on Farm Chem and got a 3-inch female cam lock to 2-inch male cam lock. That's basically going to live on that sprayer after top dress. But for now, I'm waiting for another Farm Chem shipment to get here to have another 2-inch cam lock for that, and to have the 2-inch cam lock for that other shuttle pump. This is basically how the nitrogen's going to come out onto the wheat. We got a couple that run a little higher pressure somehow. I don't know why. I had that last year. One there, and then they even out. It looks like they're just getting air out maybe. Looking good. Everything looks pretty good. You can see that. So you get a nice just drizzle. You're not just blasting the whole plant with nitrogen. Otherwise it'll kill it. But everything's looking pretty good. Not seeing anything standing out. That one's not working. I got no liquid to this one. What's going on? Probably because of that. I got a busted one. So that's a blown O-ring inside there. I'll take that apart and fix that. That'll probably get that one going. The pressure's all being robbed from that one. And everything else. We got drippy here. We got another one robbing down there somewhere. I don't know why that's not working. Huh. That one's not working. That one's really high pressure though. That one's shooting all the way out here. I don't know what the deal is there. That little O-ring there got tweaked the wrong way. It's right, you pull this out and this 3-piece nozzle body drops down and it's right in there. They always blow out when you change nozzle bodies, it seems like, or when you change nozzle tips, it seems like. When you twist that around, sometimes they just get caught just right and they break. I can almost guarantee I'll have one of them almost every time I rotate every nozzle body on this thing. There's 50 nozzles, so you got, I don't know, you got 1 in 50 chance of it breaking one, but that is the culprit right there. So, see if she works now. Rev her up. I need about 1500 RPM to get my pressure. Or 16, that's fine. Pump on. Got about 50 pump head pressure. This one doesn't work. I gotta fix that sometime, but it's not necessary. Hit that button, green light's on. We're rolling again. Still got one there. We'll check the ones we've already worked on. Everything looks nice and even, except for that one down at the end again. That one's working right now. We got a drippy check valve. Check that out. Probably just gotta be tightened up. Probably switch it out. I got new ones in the toolbox. Make a mental note of that. Those all look good. I don't know why we keep getting one like this right next to the feed too. You would think it would be fine. And I don't see anything else that would cause that issue. I don't know. I'll pop that one apart. We're all set, ready to go. What happened with this one is as soon as I turned that to a different channel on that nozzle body, started working fine. So something's plugged in. I think the blue one is the one I had the streamer on. So we'll have to take that apart at some point, but I don't want to risk breaking it. It's working now. Everything's working. This one had a weird thing going on down here. I took the nozzle body off completely. I was able to. The bolts weren't completely rusted like a lot of the rest of them. And the O-ring was missing. So I put the O-ring on, and I didn't notice if it was working, but I think it was. So we're on to, well, we just got done draining it. Got all the water out of the booms. It's going to be down to 35 tonight, so I don't want to risk freezing and busting something on a Sunday morning when I can't get parts, but I got to be in the field. So everything's drained. Reason why I did those tips up like that is because I don't want all that water going out on my lights on the end. So we drain them from the inside now instead of the outside. But everything seems to be in order and ready to go. Oh, I can finally get the mixing thing dialed in. Shush! Goat's over there in the corner throwing a hissy fit for some reason. All right, get this mixed stuff set up, and then we can call this Saturday early, I think. All right, we gotta undo this. These cam lights have the little locking buttons on them. I hate them. There we go. Get that drained a little bit, and then we shove it back through there. Stay. And we can stretch this hose out, get the valve open. Stretchy, stretchy, stretchy. There we go. Yep, a little bit of water under pressure in there. I wonder if water under pressure, though, has a different freezing temperature than just water sitting in lines. That'd be an interesting experiment to find out. I don't feel like it right now. Not when we're this close to planting season. I'm not busting something important. We're going to open all these valves up. There we go. Had a little drip off of this cam lock fitting. I don't know if this is just off kilter a little bit. It's nothing to be alarmed at. It wasn't a measurable amount. I mean, I guess it technically is a measurable amount because it is something, but it would take a while for you to get a measurable amount. All right, so I'm gonna go this way. So now you understand what I was saying. That yellow hose has to run across that doorway to get to that tank. I don't like that, so that's why we're gonna move stuff around and make it a little more accessible. We're gonna pull out of this first tank first because we're not putting any major Conklin products on the wheat, and the majority of this tank I think is a 26006 sulfur, whereas the rest of it is 26003, and we are spiking our 28 with that double aught 25-17. So I don't need the extra sulfur in my 28. And from here on out, we may end up just getting straight 28. I'm not sure. Especially if we stick on that program, then the wheat will end up with in-furrow and have sulfur in furrow, and we won't really need it in the 28, but we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video off now. We're not ending it. We're not ending it. Don't you click off yet. We will go straight to top dressing tomorrow in this video, so you guys can see some action instead of just seeing us want to get in the fields. You'll actually see us in the field for a little bit. Who knows? You may see a sprayer recovery if I bury the thing. You never know. Gotta shut it off. Sometimes on a cold start, my ECU light will give me fits, so I just shut it back off for about 10 seconds. Start it back up. All good. Nope, never mind, it's back on. After the air builds and we pull over to the mix, I'll shut the sprayer back off. That'll go off on the next one around. Pretty excited for today. First real bit of field work, large scale going on today. Did some chisel plowing, but that doesn't really count. It was like an acre. Spread manure through the winter time, but that's just what you do in the winter time. This is first true spring field work. I'm grabbing my Bluetooth transmitter so that I can listen to what I want to listen to and not what's playing on the radio. All right, we're now over at the mix shack, mix area, whatever you want to call it. Oh man, my cord's stuck on the door. We're gonna break something. Luckily that's temporary setup. Otherwise that will be an issue long term. Got a notebook back here I gotta get out. I got a pen. Alright, so I have no idea what those plans are. I think Dad was using this in his construction endeavors at the dryer control room. Should be there. This is my sprayer log so you can see dates, rates of all the products used, and fields and what acres those fields were. So we start a new page. Anything that goes through the sprayer ends up on this page, except for side dress. I don't usually log side, or I didn't log side dress. I was kind of in a hurry. Today's April 13th. $20.25. It just hit me the other day that it's actually $20.25. I always forget. So we're running pond 1. That is, it's 75 acres total. There's 10 acres of rye, so we're doing 65 acres. We're doing 2 loads just to keep them light. So we're going to write load 1, 35 acres. We're doing 35 acres because I can get done, see how much liquid I have left, and then we still have another set of fields after that I can run. So I'm going to need my calculator, so I'll be back with you guys in a minute. There we go. Got everything read out. 3 loads for the day, 35 acres, and then 32. First 2 loads are 525 gallons of 28 with 4.5 gallons of Centos, which is the sugar. And then load 3 is 480 gallons of 28 and 4 gallons of Centos. I just pumped that sugar in, and I was trying to get to my phone, but the product is so heavy, my hose wouldn't stay in the inductor on its own. But that stuff is thick. I don't know if it's just because it's cold out. I mean, we're like 45, 50 degrees at the most. Once we get warmer, and I'll set that toad out in the sun while we're playing, it'll probably get thinner. But yeah, I thought my pump wasn't working because it took like 25, 30 seconds for the liquid to come out the end. But maybe that means it's good. We'll see, I guess. I'm giving it a couple minutes to agitate up. I'm also just letting the hydraulics get warmed up. I guess it looks like I got to lower my main boom down a little more. Kind of high. I'd like to be more in that 2.5 foot range off the crop. I also want to be careful because my mast, we're getting down to the bottom of the mast. I don't want to risk stretching hoses either. But this is wheat here on this side of this strip. And then we walk over, and this is our rye that we're bringing to seed for cover crop. Yeah, we got some purplish going on. I'm pretty sure that's a nutrient deficiency, but I'm not smart enough to be able to tell you what that is. It also could be cold stress, I guess, but I'm not sure. Wheat has it a little bit too, and spots. There's just a purplish hint on the tips of the leaves. So if you guys know what that is, let me know. We can correct it on our next run of 28, but for now, it's just 28 and sugar. The wheat's really not completely actively growing right now. That's why we're not throwing a bunch of money at it on this pass. This pass is just meant to maintain and get it to where it's fully growing and actively growing on a daily basis, and then we come in and feed it what it really needs. So according to soil tests, it's not bad. We'll be tissue sampling this here in another week or 2, and that'll give us some insight. But as far as right now, what we know we need to put on there is micros. This field, wheat and rye just need boron for the most part. I'm really disappointed that I did a dry spread program on this last fall. It's really limiting my budget on what I can do this spring. So we are 100% wholly focused on sugar and micronutrients this time around. My other fields, they need boron, manganese, zinc, and copper, all at the same time, all pretty good rates. So I'm glad we did that test. I'm pretty sure those fields would drag pretty bad if we didn't get all that out there, but I do wish I could have pushed this more with more budget, but it's hindsight's 2020. We're gonna try and make some changes and be able to do this next year. I can smell the sugar in there. It's agitating up pretty good. I want to drop my phone in there though. That would be a bad day. So we're just gonna close that. Should be agitated enough. We gotta charge our booms takes about 15 gallons to push anything that's in my booms currently out and have fresh product. So we're gonna run 15 gallons on the lane here, and then we'll take off and get this going. Nice big field. We can play around a little bit. And yeah, I'll knock this out. I forgot to clean my windows, so it's kind of a disappointment, but it is what it is. Went around the field and I'm starting on my first pass. We're already 13 acres in. That's how big this field is. But we're rolling. She's streaming good, not having any issues. Haven't put the booms in the dirt yet. It's about to on camera because I can't grab the joystick, but we'll see. Alright, a little wet hole there. Just left a little bit of a track, but overall not bad. The normal wet spots I've blown through so far, no issues. All the usual wet spots in this field are on the headlands pretty much. Got 30 acres out on the dot on that load. I had about 75 gallons left. So, I mean, that's pretty close. 75 gallons usually won't get me down and back in a field just because I can only draw this tank down to about 50 on a steady move without starting to suck air and having pressure issues. So we came up now. We'll plan, we'll take the 525 and minus the, we'll just do another 525 in there and probably, well, we'll do 525 with the 75, if you know what I'm saying. Also, this boom went in the dirt. My light seems to be fine, so cheers to me on mounting a light well, I guess. I don't know. I got my rate controller set at 14 gallons because I know with 28% this sprayer does not put out, or the sprayer puts out more than what the rate controller is set for. In corn, when we were side dressing, when I was shooting for 25 gallons, I'd have to set for 21. I didn't want to tweak calibration numbers. I know I can do that, but the majority of the time this is spraying water, so I want to keep the calibrations set for water, and I just eyeball it and adjust it for 28. So I'm set for 14, and it seems to be right in there, 14, 15 gallons, so I'm not super worried about it. I'd rather short it just a hair because I did have excess nitrogen in there from that dry spread and stuff like that, so not absolutely necessary to hit 15 on the dot. Load number 2 is ready to go out. We got 600-ish, a little more than 600 gallons in the tank. And our first tank here is getting down there. We won't use all this today, but we're sitting right at about 1,300 gallons. A little less. 1,275 maybe. But, yep. Draining her down. 2600-6% sulfur with a pint of Centos. 15 gallons per acre, total rate. Here we go. 64.7 acres done. Came in over in that far corner. Just gotta head back to the farm. Had some GPS issues with the drill, I think. I don't know. Wasn't out here for that. Might unlock RTK on that. Not sure. With the amount of times you fill the drill with wheat, every time you fill the drill, the GPS line gets reset and you don't know where you are for the first pass. So that's kind of where these stripes end up coming in. And when you're doing headlands, by the time you get back around here, so having RTK would definitely help, but I don't know. See how much it costs, I guess. I'd rather get auto steer right away, but no money for that right now. So anyway, gonna head up to the farm, fill with load number 3 on our final load, woodchuck, and head over about 4 miles, I think, to the next one. So, yep. Pass 1 of 3 for 2025 is done on this field. We'll have another pass at 28, and then we'll have fungicide and fun stuff. Wheat, you gotta like running the sprayer if you're gonna grow wheat, because that seems like all you do out in the wheat field is spray, spray, spray. Just got load number 3 loaded up. This one's a little hotter with the sugar. I got the sugar in the cone filled up, and I was trying to glance at my sight glass on the sprayer, and we had like 5 acres of carryover from the other field, because if you remember right, I mixed 35 acres instead of 32.5 or 30, whatever. So we came home, we had 70 acres of products mixed for 65 acres, basically, is what I'm saying. So we just didn't put as much 28 in this load to make up the difference. It was like a gallon of sugar, I think, or less. So it'll be all right. They'll just get a little more of a wake-up call, I guess. All right, we got 30 acres done. It says 30, but it's really 27. These little fingers and everything, there's so much overlap. That's theoretical on the monitor, but it's not real life. So that's where all that comes from. And didn't cut in near as bad as I thought it would. There's one there on the first round, that low spot there. This little thumb here, that's a marshy area. That I cut in a little bit. And then just back in there, which didn't really cut ruts, but left some prints. That one, those ones are actual ruts there, but we can ignore those. So now we just fold up, head home, empty what's in the sprayer somewhere. Gotta figure out what, well, I'm probably just leave it in the sprayer. I'll do it tomorrow after I move those tanks around. And yeah, enjoy the rest of my Sunday afternoon. So thank you guys for watching. Finally got some field work. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.